What if the walls of your own mind are the only thing holding you back from a life of limitless potential? The person you believe yourself to be is a mere shadow of the infinite being you were born to become. You've been living inside a story, written by others, a narrative that claims your capabilities have a ceiling, your dreams have borders, and your spirit has limits. That story, I promise you, is about to be rewritten. The most critical expedition of your life won't require a passport or a plane ticket. It demands a single, brave step inward into the uncharted territories of your own consciousness. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about a fundamental rewiring of your perception of reality itself. What if the very concept of impossible was an illusion you agreed to believe? Your cage was built one thought at a time. Let me share a parable that has echoed through the ages. In a kingdom of old, there lived a magnificent songbird, born and raised in a cage of pure gold. Its perch was silk, its water was served in crystal, and its food arrived on silver plates. Day after day, it sang its sweet song, admiring the beauty of its luxurious prison. It never once questioned the bars, for they were all it had ever known. It never stretched its wings to test their strength, never dreamed of the sky that lay just beyond the gilded metal. Does a part of you recognize that bird? Your existence, in its deepest truth, mirrors this tale. You too reside within confines, but yours are forged from something far less substantial than gold. They are made of belief. These limiting beliefs have woven themselves so seamlessly into the fabric of your thoughts that you've likely stopped seeing them as barriers at all. They feel like reality. They whisper, "I'm not talented enough. Success is a struggle. Change is difficult." These thoughts cast long shadows, creating boundaries that exist nowhere but in the landscape of your own mind. Consider for a moment how these mental constructs were built. They weren't formed overnight. Like single drops of water patiently, carving grooves into solid rock, your repeated thoughts and accepted experiences have sculpted deep channels in your consciousness. Every time you've nodded in agreement to a limitation, every moment you've turned away from a spark of possibility, you have, unknowingly, added another bar to your own cage. But here is the secret that will set you free. What was built by thought can be dismantled by thought. The architecture of your limitations is only as strong as your belief in its solidity. Let me tell you another story. One of a young sage who lived in a small village high in the mountains. He meditated daily beneath a towering ancient tree. And though he was young, he felt his understanding was vast and complete. Then, one morning, an elder from the village approached him. "What do you see?" The elder whispered, gesturing to the sprawling valley below them. The young sage replied with confidence, "I see all there is to see." The elder smiled a gentle, knowing smile. "Close your eyes," he instructed. The young sage, slightly puzzled, did as he was told. "Now," the elder said, his voice soft as the mountain breeze, "what do you hear?" In the silence that followed his own pride, the young sage began to perceive what he had been blind to. He heard the whisper of wind through distant pines he couldn't see. He detected the song of a bird whose name he didn't know. He tuned into the murmur of streams, hidden from view by the forest's embrace. When he finally opened his eyes, the valley was transformed. It was no longer just a picture. It was alive, pulsating with possibilities he had been completely unaware of moments before. You, right now, are standing at your own threshold of awareness. The limitations you've accepted are not walls of stone, but veils of thought ready to dissolve in the light of a new, more profound understanding. Each belief that holds you back is like those unheard sounds present the entire time, powerful only because it remained you naknowledged. To see the prison is the first step to leaving it. Now let's move from understanding to practice. Let's begin the process of dissolving these cages. I want to guide you through a powerful exercise I call the dissolving cage. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed for the next few minutes. Sit comfortably, and when you're ready, close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath in, and as you exhale, release any tension you're holding in your shoulders, your jaw, your hands. Another deep breath, and as you breathe out, let go of the need to control anything for these next few moments. Now, In your mind's eye, I want you to visualize yourself standing inside a cage. This is the cage of your own making. Look around. What do the bars look like? Are they thick or thin? Rusty or new? Reach out in your imagination and touch one of these bars. Feel its texture, feel its weight, feel its solidity. What belief does this specific bar represent? Is it I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve abundance? Acknowledge it without judgment. It's just a structure, a thought dash formed. Now, bring your awareness to the center of your chest, to your heart. Visualize a warm golden light beginning to glow there. It's gentle at first, then it grows brighter, warmer, more powerful. With every heartbeat, this light expands, radiating outward from your core. Watch as this radiant golden light touches the bars of your cage, and as it does, something miraculous happens. The bars, those solid-seeming limitations, begin to dissolve. They don't break or shatter with violence. They simply soften, becoming translucent, then transparent, then vanishing like mist under the morning sun. Bar by bar, your prison dissolves. Feel the sensation of boundless space opening around you. There is no ceiling, no walls, only infinite potential. Breathe into this newfound freedom. Inhale the feeling of limitlessness. Exhale the last remnants of the old constraints. Stay with this feeling of expansion for as long as you like. Allow yourself to truly experience what life feels like beyond the boundaries you once accepted as absolute reality. Let this new awareness settle deep into your being, a cellular reminder of who you truly are, unlimited, unbounded, and profoundly free. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room, back to your breath, and open your eyes. Carry this feeling with you. What you just experienced was not merely a visualization, it was a neural rehearsal for freedom. You were forging new pathways in your brain, teaching your nervous system the feeling of liberation. This is the work. This is how you begin. But to build a new house, we must first understand the foundation of the old one. Where did these cages even come from? Our next step is to journey into the origins of your inner cage. Imagine a secluded valley, nestled between impassable ancient mountains. For generations, the community living there held one absolute, unshakable truth: the world ended where the sky touched the earth. A clear, undeniable line was drawn across the distant hills. Generation after generation lived within this conviction. Their entire lives, their ambitions, their worldviews were bounded by this imaginary line. No one ever dared to venture beyond it, for in their collective mind there lay only a terrifying, endless void. You might smile at the simplicity of their belief, but I want you to consider this carefully. Within your own mind, do similar horizons exist? Boundaries you've accepted without ever truly questioning them? People like me don't become leaders. Money is hard to come by. True love is for other people. These mental horizons shape your reality. Just as powerfully as that village's belief shaped theirs, the walls of your perception were not delivered fully formed. They were built, brick by psychic brick, thought by inherited thought, through a lifetime of watching, listening, and absorbing the beliefs of the world around you. Think back. Parents who, out of love and their own fear, cautioned you against reaching too high. Teachers who, perhaps unconsciously, defined the outer limits of your capabilities. A society that constantly prescribed your proper place. All of these influences contributed to the invisible architecture of your limitations. These borrowed beliefs sink their roots deep into the soil of your consciousness. They are the internal voices that whisper warnings when you dream a little too big. They are the invisible hands that pull you back when you stride a little too far toward the edge of your comfort zone. They are the master painters who splash pictures of impossibility across your vision the moment you glimpse a genuine opportunity. Yet here is the crucial distinction. Unlike real, physical horizons, these boundaries exist only in the realm of thought. They are maintained by nothing more substantial than habit and heredity. They are ghosts, but ghosts you have been taught to fear. Let me share another traveler's tale. Along a forgotten road that wound through desolate lands, a weary traveler encountered an elder resting in the scarce shade of a gnarled, ancient tree. The traveler, dusty and tired from his long journey, spoke of his destination, a legendary city said to lie just beyond the next mountain range. Impossible, the elder declared, his voice firm with certainty. I have lived 90 years in this place. My father before me and his father before him for generations. We have all known one truth. Nothing exists beyond those peaks. The world ends there. The traveler didn't argue. He simply smiled, reached into his pack, and withdrew a piece of fruit the elder had never seen in his entire life. It was strange, vibrant, and heavy with juice. This, the traveler said softly, grows in abundance there. I have walked those streets. I have seen it with my own eyes. The elder took the fruit, his weathered hands trembling slightly. He felt its unfamiliar weight, its strange texture. In that single, silent moment, as he held the impossible in his hands, his entire world, the world his ancestors had built for him, shattered and expanded in a single, breathless instant. This story speaks directly to the monumental power of questioning inherited wisdom. Like the elder, you carry beliefs passed down through generations about wealth, about capability, about what is and isn't possible for someone like you. I want you to hear this clearly. These are not your truths. They are merely thoughts you were taught to think. They are someone else's fruit, and you have the right to taste a different one. It's time to become the archaeologist of your own mind. Let's engage in a second, deeply revealing practice. Take out your journal or open a new document on your device. I want you to create 2 columns. In the first column, I want you to list the core beliefs you currently hold about 3 key areas: success, happiness, and your own potential. Be brutally honest. Write things like, success requires burning out, or happiness depends on my circumstances, or my potential is average. Don't filter. Just let it flow onto the page. Now, in the second column, I want you to play detective. Trace each belief back to its source. Ask yourself, did this belief arise from my own direct, lived experience? Or was it handed to me by my parents, my teachers, my culture, my peers? Does this belief genuinely serve my growth and expansion? Or does it primarily function to confine me, to keep me safe and small? Write without judgment. You are not blaming anyone. You are simply gathering data, conducting an audit of the mental software that has been running your life. Allowing yourself to question even your most deeply rooted convictions is an act of tremendous courage. It is the first firm push against that imaginary horizon. As you do this work, you might feel a sense of unease. That's normal. The ego's security system is being triggered. It prefers the familiar cage to the uncertain sky. Acknowledge the discomfort and keep digging. The truth is worth the temporary turmoil. This process of excavation lays the groundwork. But knowing where the walls are is only half the battle. Now, we must awaken the power to not just see beyond them, but to walk right through them. This brings us to the most thrilling part of our journey, the rediscovery of your innate, infinite power. In a distant, sun-drenched valley where shepherds tended their flocks, there lived a peculiar and poignant sight. A full-grown lion who believed, with every fiber of his being, that he was a sheep. He had been found as a tiny, orphaned cub and raised among the flock. He learned to bleat instead of roar. He grazed on grass instead of hunting. He trembled at shadows and fled from unfamiliar sounds, just like his woolen companions. His mighty mane he mistook for a strange, burdensome growth of excess fur. His powerful frame he saw as clumsy and oversized. His natural majesty and strength remained utterly dormant. Buried beneath a lifetime of profound misidentification, you possess a power beyond your wildest imaginings. Yet, like this lion, you may be walking through your life completely unaware of your true nature. Within you dwells the very same creative force that orchestrates the dance of galaxies and ignites the hearts of stars. The universe did not make you small and limited. It planted within the core of your being the seeds of unlimited potential, and they are waiting, patiently, for the simple recognition that they are there. Your power to dissolve every limitation you face does not spring from a book, a guru, or a secret formula outside of yourself. It wells up from the bottomless depths of your own consciousness. Every master, every sage, every genuine teacher throughout human history has pointed to this one fundamental truth, the kingdom, the power, the glory. It all lies within. When you truly grasp this principle at a cellular level, not just as an intellectual concept, every barrier begins to lose its solidity. Every obstacle reveals its true nature as a temporary illusion. The voice inside that whispers, "I cannot," does not belong to your true essential self. It belongs to the sheep's clothing you have been wearing for so long you forgot it was a costume. Your authentic nature knows no bounds, recognizes no limitations, and needs no one's permission to express its inherent magnificence. Like the lion who has forgotten the sound of his own roar. You need only remember what you truly are. Consider the story of the humble stone cutter. In the mountains where artisans worked the ancient quarries, this man believed himself to be weak and insignificant. Day after day, he compared himself to others, the wealthy merchant who commissioned the stones, the master sculptor who transformed them into breathtaking art, the strong laborers who moved the largest blocks. He felt himself to be the least among them. One night, exhausted and despondent, he fell into a deep sleep and had a dream. In this dream, the mountain itself spoke to him. "Why do you diminish yourself?" The mountain's voice boomed, not with anger, but with a profound, earth-shaking love. "The strength to split my stones does not lie in your tools. It lies in your essence. You are not separate from me, nor from the force that raised me from the earth's very depths. The same power flows through you." Upon awakening, the stone cutter walked to the quarry as the sun rose. He approached his work with entirely new eyes. He felt the ancient power flowing through his hands, up his arms, and into his heart. He recognized the inherent artistry in each precise strike of his chisel. He understood, finally, that his worth came not from comparing himself to others, but from being fully, completely himself. This tale is a perfect mirror for your own journey. The power to transform your reality requires no external validation. You do not need to acquire new qualities or become someone else to claim your birthright of unlimited potential. Like the stonecutter, your task is not to go out and find power, but to recognize the immense power that has always been present within you. Waiting for your acknowledgement. It is time for a sacred practice. One that has been passed down through the ages by those who understood the deeper architecture of existence. Find that quiet space once more. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take several deep cleansing breaths. Allow your body to become heavy and still. Now, visualize yourself standing before a full-length mirror. See yourself clearly. But as you look, begin to perceive the accumulated layers of false identities you have worn throughout your life. See the masks of the doubter, the struggler, the not enough person. See the costumes of the roles you play. The employee, the parent, the responsible one, the people pleaser. See them as literal layers, like transparent films covering your true form. Now, imagine these layers beginning to dissolve. They don't tear or rip. They simply soften and melt away, like morning mist yielding to the rising sun. With each breath you take, watch another layer, another false limitation, fade into nothingness. Feel the growing lightness in your being as you shed these artificial constraints. As the final layer dissolves, behold what remains. See your true self emerging? This is the being behind the masks. It is radiant. It is calm. It is powerful beyond measure. It is unlimited. Look into its eyes and see the infinite peace and strength that resides there. This is who you are. Now, feel this power. Let it flow from the core of this true self, radiating outward through every cell of your being. Feel it circulating through your veins, energizing your muscles, illuminating your mind. Feel this power expanding, filling the space around you, and then flowing into every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your health, your sense of purpose. Know with absolute certainty that this radiant, powerful being is your natural state. It is not something you need to achieve or build. It is simply what you are when you remember. It is your home. Rest in this feeling for as long as you wish. When you are ready, gently bring your awareness back, carrying the memory of this true self with you. Let it inform your choices, your words, and your actions today. This remembering is the key. But to make it stick, we need a master key. That master key is awareness. In a time long forgotten, a traveler lost his way in the heart of a vast, unforgiving desert. As darkness fell, a cold, gripping panic began to cloud his mind. Every dune looked identical to the last, and the silence was deafening. He was truly lost. Yet, in his moment of deepest despair, a fragment of ancient wisdom surfaced in his memory, passed down by his ancestors. When you are lost on the earth, look to the heavens. He forced himself to stop, to still his frantic heart, and he looked up. There, in the endless, timeless tapestry of stars, he found his true north. And with that fixed point as his guide, he discovered the path home. You stand now at a similar crossroads in your inner world, where pure awareness becomes your guiding light, your personal North Star, just as the traveler discovered his salvation by lifting his gaze from the confusing sands to the constant stars. Your liberation begins with the simple, profound act of becoming aware. Every single limitation that seems to bind you exists first and foremost in the realm of thought, and it waits there like a phantom to be noticed, understood, and ultimately transcended. Awareness is the great dissolver. When you bring the clear, non-judgmental light of your attention to a belief that has held you captive, its power begins to fade. It's like a shadow that seems solid and threatening in the dim light, but when you shine a bright flashlight on it, you see it has no substance at all. It cannot maintain its grip under the gaze of conscious awareness. Think of your mind as a vast, open, eternal sky, and your thoughts, all of them, the joyful and the fearful, are merely clouds passing through. Some of these clouds are dark and heavy, carrying the rain of limitation. I can't do this. This will never work. I'm not smart enough. These clouds can darken your entire perspective and narrow your vision of what's possible. But the sky itself, your fundamental consciousness, remains forever untouched, eternally clear and absolutely unconfined by the temporary weather passing through. You are this sky, you are the sky, not the weather. Let me tell you about a seeker in the high mountains, where silence speaks in volumes. A young man, troubled by a feeling of being trapped, approached an elder known for his boundless wisdom. "Master," the seeker said, his voice tight with frustration, "I feel caged, imprisoned, yet when I look around, I see no physical walls surrounding me." The elder smiled, a smile that held the peace of 1,000 quiet dawns. He didn't offer a complex philosophy. Instead, he picked up a dry leaf that was floating on the surface of a nearby still pond. "Watch," he said, holding the leaf before the seeker's eyes. "Do not try to change what you see. Do not fight it. Simply observe it." As the seeker watched, his mind initially racing, he saw the leaf slowly begin to change. The sun dried it. Its edges curled inward. Its color shifted from green to brown. It transformed right before his eyes. "You see," the elder spoke softly, his words blending with the sound of the water, "transformation requires no forceful effort beyond pure, patient awareness. Your thoughts are like this leaf. When you observe them without grabbing onto them or pushing them away, their true, fleeting nature reveals itself. And change follows, as naturally as the leaf responds to the sun and the air. This ancient wisdom speaks directly to the heart of your journey. The walls that seem to confine you exist primarily because they remain unexamined. Like the seeker in the mountains, your path to lasting freedom lies not in struggling violently against your limitations, but in developing the refined art of conscious observation. Let us now engage in the core practice that will awaken this power of awareness within you. This is the foundation upon which all other transformation is built. Find your quiet space. Settle in. Let your body become still. Let your breath find its own natural rhythm. Don't force it. Just observe it. Now, as you sit in this stillness, begin to observe your thoughts as they arise. Don't follow them down their rabbit holes. Don't get into a story with them. Just watch them. See them as clouds drifting across the vast blue sky of your consciousness. A cloud labeled "worry about work" floats by. Just note it, a worry cloud. A cloud named doubt about this practice appears. Just label it, there's a doubt cloud. Notice how some of these clouds carry the familiar whispers of limitation. This is impossible for me. I'll never figure this out. I don't have what it takes. Here is the most important part. Do not try to change these thoughts. Do not judge yourself for having them. Do not argue with them. Simply observe their presence. Notice their texture. See what influence they try to have on your state of being. Your only job in this practice is to be awareness itself. Watch how these limiting thoughts, when exposed to the steady, gentle light of your conscious attention, begin to lose their substance. See how they start to dissipate like morning mist thinning in the warmth of the rising sun. They may come back, and that's fine. Just keep watching, keep noting, keep resting as the sky. This practice, done even for a few minutes each day, will fundamentally change your relationship with your own mind. You are no longer a prisoner of your thoughts. You become the spacious awareness in which they come and go. This is true power. This is the master key that unlocks every door. Now that we are learning to observe the landscape of our minds, we can spot the most precious thing of all, the very seeds of our future freedom. This brings us to one of the most beautiful concepts we will explore, the seed of infinity that already lives within you. In a garden untouched by the rush of time, a humble gardener held a single, unassuming seed in his weathered, knowing palm. With great reverence, he planted it in the rich, dark soil. He was a good gardener, but he could not possibly fathom the vast potential sleeping within that tiny, seemingly simple shell. He knew it would become a plant, but he was unaware that within its microscopic structure lay the complete, perfect blueprint of an entire forest, not just one tree, but generations of trees, ecosystems, and life forms yet to come. You, precious soul, are that seed. You contain within the core of your being the essence of infinite possibility. This is not a metaphor. It is a law of existence. The universal law of potential states that every soul carries the intrinsic encoded blueprint of boundless creation, waiting for the right conditions to burst forth into magnificent manifestation, just as a mighty 100-foot oak tree exists completely in potential within its humble acorn. Your greatest achievements, your most magnificent dreams, and your highest purpose already exist within you in seed form. They are not something you need to go out and get. They are something you must allow to grow from the inside out. This sacred truth has been whispered through the corridors of time. You are not a being of limitation, but a vessel of infinite potential. The universe has planted within you the seed of your own greatness. And every limiting belief you release, every fearful thought you observe and let go, allows this seed to receive more light, to draw more nourishment, to stretch its roots deeper and its branches higher, far beyond what you once thought was possible. Consider the sheer, staggering mathematics of a single seed. One apple seed contains the genetic coding for not just one apple tree, but for countless future orchards. Within its microscopic architecture lies the information to create thousands of apples, each containing seeds of their own, each containing the same infinite potential for entire forests. This is not an exaggeration. It is a biological fact, and it mirrors the profound truth of your own nature. What appears small, finite, and limited on the surface holds, within its depths, unlimited, ever-unfolding possibility. Let me share a teaching from a monastery high in the thin, clear air of the mountains. A young monk, his brow furrowed with confusion, approached his teacher. "Master," he said, his voice filled with earnest frustration, "I have searched everywhere for enlightenment. I've read the sacred texts, I've practiced the meditations, I've followed all the rules, but I feel no closer to awakening than when I began. It feels impossible." The teacher, instead of giving a long lecture, simply smiled and produced a single tiny seed from the folds of his robe. "What do you see?" he asked the young monk. The monk, slightly annoyed by the simplicity of the question, replied, "I see a seed, master." "Look deeper," the teacher instructed, his voice soft but firm. This seed is not just a seed. Within it, entire forests exist. Rivers will one day flow, fed by the shade of its trees. Countless creatures will find shelter in its branches. And it will produce more seeds of its own, each one containing the same blueprint for more forests, more life, more possibility. Infinity, the master said, holding the young monk's gaze, exists within the finite. Just as this seed contains worlds within worlds, you contain universes within yourself. Your only true limitation is your belief in limitation itself. This teaching strikes at the very heart of the matter. Like the young monk, you may have been searching outside of yourself for what has always been nestled within. The seed of your potential carries within it every dream you've ever dreamed, every goal you've ever set, every vision you've held dear ... and infinitely more that you haven't even dared to imagine yet. It is time to actively awaken this sleeping giant within you. Let us engage in a practice designed to water this seed and invite it to sprout. Once again, find your position of stillness and close your eyes. Take several deep, steadying breaths. Now, bring your awareness to the very center of your being, just below your navel. Visualize a small, luminous seed of golden light resting there. Feel its warmth. Feel its latent power. Feel its infinite, patient potential. With your next inhale, imagine you are sending breath and energy directly to this seed. Watch as it begins to pulse with life, glowing brighter with each heartbeat. See a tiny crack appear on its surface. Now, see a tender, brilliant shoot of pure green-gold light emerging from the seed. Feel it growing, expanding, reaching upward and downward simultaneously. Sense it moving up through the center of your body, through your torso, your heart, your throat, and blossoming into 1,000 points of light within your mind. Simultaneously, feel it growing downward, sending roots of shimmering, grounding energy deep into the earth beneath you. Anchoring you to the planet's core, watch as branches of light extend through your arms and out through your fingertips. See them extend down through your legs and out through the solace of your feet. Feel leaves of possibility unfurling in every direction around you, each leaf representing a different aspect of your unlimited potential. A leaf for creative expression, a leaf for financial abundance, a leaf for loving relationships, a leaf for vibrant health. As this magnificent, luminous tree of light grows and expands within you, feel it gently dissolving every remaining barrier, every limitation, every old, crusty belief that has held you back. Let its light fill not just your body but radiate outward, creating a sphere of golden energy around you. Touching everything in your environment with its transformative glow, sit in this feeling of being a living, breathing, growing tree of light. You are rooted yet limitless. You are grounded yet touching the infinite. This is your true state. Rest here. When you are ready, gently return your awareness to the room, carrying this living, growing light within you. Nurture it daily with your awareness and your belief in its existence. With this awakened power and awareness, we now turn to one of the most common and insidious barriers, the glass ceiling of self-doubt. It's time to break it. In a sunlit artist's studio, filled with the smell of paint and turpentine, a young artist named Ilara stood before her finished masterpiece, a canvas that held her heart and soul. Her hand trembled as she reached to remove the drape that concealed it. Though her work pulsed with a beauty and truth beyond anything she had ever created, a cold, familiar fear gripped her heart, freezing her in place. The fear of judgment, the fear of being seen, the fear that it wasn't truly good enough. And so, her masterpiece remained hidden, its brilliance known only to her, and the world was poorer for its absence. You may recognize this moment in your own life, when self-doubt casts its long, chilling shadow over your brightest ideas, your deepest passions, your most authentic expressions. The invisible barriers you face are not made of iron or stone. They are made of something far more deceptive, thoughts that have crystallized into what appears to be unbreakable glass. These transparent walls feel so real, so solid, that you dare not test their strength. You assume they will cut you if you try to push through. Yet, they exist only in the realm of belief. The universal law of self-expression reveals that, Doubt is the chief architect of these glass ceilings. It builds them, layer upon transparent layer, above your dreams and aspirations. Each time you step back from an opportunity, each moment you hesitate to share your unique gifts, another sheet of this psychic glass is installed, creating a prison so subtle you might even mistake it for protection. It's keeping me safe from failure, you tell yourself. It's keeping me from looking foolish. But these barriers, seemingly solid, possess no more substance than a reflection on water. They maintain their power through one thing, and one thing only, your belief in their reality. Their strength is borrowed from your fear. The truth is, they are as fragile as they are false. Along a winding mountain path, a different traveler encountered an elderly woman sitting serenely beside a crystal-clear, perfectly still pool. The traveler spoke of his long journey, lamenting the many barriers and obstacles that seemed to stand between him and his deepest dreams. The woman listened patiently, then gestured to the mirror-like surface of the pool. "Touch the water," she instructed gently. The traveler, confused, knelt down and touched the surface with his fingertip. Instantly, ripples spread outward in perfect circles, distorting the perfect reflection of the sky and trees. "Your doubts," the woman said, her eyes twinkling, "are like this water's surface. They appear solid, reflective, and real, until the very moment you touch them. Then they reveal their true nature, mere illusions, disturbed and transformed by the slightest act of courage. This wisdom echoes through your own experience. Every self-doubt that holds you back is nothing more than a reflection on the water of your mind. It maintains its power only until you gather the courage to disturb its surface, to challenge its validity. To turn this understanding into tangible liberation, let's engage in a powerful practice of shattering these illusions. Take your journal again. Find a quiet space. At the top of a clean page, write in bold letters, "I release these doubts to the wind." Now list every self-doubt that has held you back. Each fear that has kept you small. "I'm not smart enough to start that business. I'm too old to learn a new skill. No one would be interested in what I have to say." See them materialize on the page, becoming solid and real in black and white. Now close your eyes. Imagine each one of these doubts as a separate pane of clear glass floating in the space before you. See how the light plays through it. Tap on it with your mind's finger. Feel how fragile it truly is, how it vibrates with a delicate hum, one by one. Visualize yourself approaching each glass pane. You are not armed with a hammer. You are armed with truth. You simply look at the pane, and you state its falsehood with calm conviction. "For I'm not smart enough," I say, "my capacity to learn is infinite," and as you say it, watch the glass pane not shatter violently, but dissolve into a million points of starlight, beautiful and harmless. "For I'm too old," you state, "my journey unfolds in perfect timing." And watch that pane transform into a shower of golden dust. Hear the musical, liberating sound as each false ceiling disappears. Feel the space opening above you, the lightness entering your heart. Return to your journal. Beside each doubt you listed, write with firmness, "This limitation is now dissolved." Feel the power of that declaration with each one. You are not just writing words. You are enacting a ritual of release. This practice actively dismantles the architecture of self-doubt. It replaces the phantom glass with open sky. And under that open sky, you are free to choose a new path. This brings us to the ultimate crossroads, the choice between fear and freedom. At the edge of an ancient, whispering forest, where the dappled light of knowledge met the comforting shadows of the familiar, a lone wanderer paused. Before them stretched two distinct trails. One path was bathed in a clear, golden sunlight, winding its way up a steep and challenging mountain, its destination hidden from view. The other path was a comfortable, gentle descent into a familiar, darkening wood, where the air was thick and still with the whispers of what was known and safe. You stand now, in this very moment and in every moment to come, at your own personal crossroads. Every breath presents you with the same fundamental choice, the known comfort of limitation, or the luminous, uncertain adventure of freedom. The path you choose, again and again, shapes not just your next action, but the very essence of who you are becoming. Deep within your being lies an eternal truth. Liberation begins with choice. Each time you hear fear's persuasive, seductive voice, you encounter a profound opportunity. You can step forward into the boundless, unknown field of possibility, or you can retreat into the familiar, well-furnished cage of your limitations. Fear, in its cleverness, often disguises itself as wisdom. It whispers of safety, of practicality, of avoiding humiliation. Be realistic, it says. Don't get your hopes up. Yet true wisdom knows that all genuine growth, all expansion, all aliveness dwells just beyond the borders of comfort. The choice between fear and freedom rarely announces itself with dramatic fanfare. It appears in the quiet, intimate moments of your life, when you consider speaking your truth in a meeting, when you feel the impulse to pursue a forgotten dream, when you decide to stand in your power in a relationship. In these instances, fear offers its seductive promise of security, while freedom beckons you toward an expansion that is both thrilling and terrifying. There is a tale of a soul in a distant valley, whose heart burned with a restless yearning for more than the village walls could contain. Each dawn, they watched their neighbors embrace their predictable routines, finding solace in the rhythm of their limited lives. Yet, within their own chest, a flame flickered that no amount of safety could ever extinguish. One morning, as the village turned to its familiar tasks, this brave soul took a breath and then a step. Beyond the village gates, fear was their companion, of course. It whispered vivid warnings, painting mental pictures of catastrophic failure and utter loneliness. But with each step forward, they discovered something remarkable. The world, where fear had promised only catastrophe, revealed hidden opportunities. Where it had threatened isolation, they discovered unexpected connection. The very act of choosing freedom began to transform their world from a confined, predictable space into an infinite canvas of breathtaking possibility. This story is a mirror. Look into it. In what area of your life has fear drawn its lines? Does it keep you in a job that dims your spirit? Does it hold you back from sharing your creative gifts with the world? Does it convince you to accept less than you deserve in your relationships? Does it prevent you from pursuing the dreams that whisper to your heart in the quiet of the night? The path of light, the path up the mountain, may appear daunting. It requires effort. It offers no guarantees. But I promise you, it leads to the vastness, the joy, and the fulfillment your soul truly craves. Every single step you take toward freedom, no matter how small or hesitant, weakens fear's grip on your life. It's like strengthening a muscle. Each rep makes you stronger. To consciously begin your journey beyond fear's boundaries. Let's engage in a practical, transformative exercise. Find a quiet space with paper and a pen. Draw 2 columns. Title the first column, Fear's Territory. Title the second column, Freedom's Invitation. In the first column, I want you to write about one specific area of your life where fear has held sovereign power. Be brutally honest and specific. For example, fear's territory, my career. I stay in a dead-end job because I'm terrified I'll fail if I start my own business. This fear has limited me by keeping me financially stagnant and crushing my spirit. Now, in the second column, write one small, concrete, actionable step that would represent choosing freedom in this exact situation. It must be small and achievable. For example, Freedom's Invitation. I will spend 30 minutes this Saturday researching the first step to launching my side business. Now, close your eyes. Feel the weight of this choice. Let your breath deepen as you connect with the part of you that yearns for this freedom, that knows you are meant for more. Open your eyes. Look at the action in the Freedom's Invitation column. This is not just a task. This is your declaration. Circle it. This is your first conscious step on the sunlit path. And a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single, deliberate step. Taking these steps consistently is how you walk the path. And as you walk, you begin to notice that you are not just changing your actions, you are changing the very core of your identity. You are shifting from someone who has limiting beliefs to someone who is free. This is the art of living as the boundless self. In the ancient valleys where wisdom is carried on the wind. There lived a traveler who journeyed far and wide, his back permanently bent beneath the crushing weight of a massive pack. This pack was filled with stones, not ordinary stones, but heavy psychic rocks. One stone was his expectation of how success should look. Another was his attachment to a specific outcome in his relationship. Another was his desire for recognition from certain people. Yet another was a dream he'd adopted because it was prestigious, not because it was his. Though his shoulders ached and his steps grew slower with each passing day, he continued to gather more stones, believing their weight was an essential, unavoidable part of the journey. You, like this traveler, may be carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. These attachments and expectations weigh upon your spirit, acting as anchors that limit the heights to which you might otherwise soar. Each rigid expectation of how your life must unfold becomes another stone in your pack, another weight holding you firmly to the ground. The universe operates through a perfect, intelligent flow, yet your attachments create resistance to this natural current. When you cling white-knuckled to a specific outcome, you close yourself off to countless other doors of possibility that the universe is trying to open for you. Your expectations, as innocent as they may seem, become the very bars of the cage you are trying so hard to escape. True, lasting freedom is found not in getting everything you think you want, but in the graceful art of release. In letting go, you gain everything. There is a story of a gardener who struggled to grow anything new in his plot of land. Day after day, he poured water and attention onto his dying, withered plants, refusing to remove them. He was attached to them. He believed that with enough effort and care, he could force them back to life. His garden remained stagnant, a monument to his attachment, until an old sage shared a simple, devastating truth. Only by clearing away the old can new life ever take root. Reluctantly, heart aching with a sense of loss, the gardener began pulling up the dead plants. And as he cleared the soil, something miraculous happened. Fresh, green shoots he never planted began to emerge from the newly opened earth. They grew with a vigor he had never seen, bringing forth blooms more vibrant and beautiful than anything he had ever imagined possible. This wisdom speaks directly to the core of your journey. Like the gardener, you may be clinging to outdated dreams, expired relationships, or beliefs that have long since stopped serving you. You fear that letting go means admitting defeat, that it means loss. Yet in that very release lies the secret of renewal. Every attachment you surrender creates a sacred, empty space of vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with unexpected blessings, new connections, and opportunities that are a better match for who you are becoming. To transform this teaching into lived wisdom, let's engage in an ancient practice of release. Sit in quietude with your journal and a pen. Before you write, take a moment to center yourself. Now, write down each major attachment, expectation, or specific outcome you are currently holding on to. I am attached to my partner changing. I expect to get that specific promotion. I am clinging to the dream of living in that specific city. As you write each one, feel its weight in your being. Acknowledge the role it has played. Now, one by one, close your eyes and visualize each attachment as a smooth, heavy stone resting in the palms of your hands. Feel its texture, feel its familiar weight. Feel the history it represents. Then, with gentle but firm intention, imagine yourself standing by the bank of a wide, flowing, powerful river. This is the river of life, of time, of transformation. Watch as you open your hands and allow each stone to fall into the current. Don't throw it with force. Simply release it. Watch as the river accepts it and carries it away, downstream, out of your sight and out of your life. Feel the immediate lightness that remains in your hands. Feel the space that opens in your heart. The burden is gone. Complete this powerful practice by speaking this affirmation aloud. In releasing, I become free. In surrender, I open myself to infinite possibility. This act of release allows you to align with the natural flow of the universe, to move from forcing to allowing, from struggling to trusting. And when you trust the flow, you begin to live in a state of effortless creation, which is the natural state of your boundless self. As we approach the end of this spoken journey, know that you have traversed sacred ground within yourself. The path we have walked together has not been about adding new information to your brain, but about awakening something profound, something that has always resided in the silent depths of your heart, a recognition of the infinite power that is your birthright. Look back now upon the path you've walked. Remember the caged bird and see how you have already begun to feel the strength of wings you never knew you possessed. Recall the village that believed in its artificial horizon and feel how your own personal horizons have already expanded in ways you couldn't have imagined a short while ago. Think of the lion who believed he was a sheep and feel the first low rumble of your own authentic roar stirring within your chest. These teachings, passed down through the ages, have done more than simply inform you. They have begun to transform you at a fundamental level. The limitations that once felt like unbreakable stone walls have begun to reveal their true nature as shadows, dissolving in the light of your growing awareness. The boundaries that seem to define your life are now showing themselves as the illusions they always were, unable to contain the expanding universe of your consciousness. You now hold within you the master keys, the key of awareness, the key of choice, the key of release. You have the tools to continue this excavation, this awakening, for the rest of your life. Remember, this is not an ending. It is a glorious beginning. Each truth you've uncovered here opens the door to even deeper revelations. Each limitation you transcend will reveal new, more magnificent territories of your own potential to explore. The journey of boundless living has no final destination. It is an eternal, ever-unfolding adventure, offering you new opportunities for growth, joy, and expansion with every single sunrise. The work continues now in the quiet moments of your day, when you choose courage over comfort, when you observe your thoughts without judgment, when you release an outcome and trust the flow. This is where the real magic happens. This is how you build a life not of limitation, but of legend. You are not who you thought you were. You are vast. You are powerful. You are limitless. Now, go, and live like you know it. If this journey has opened a new door for you, if you feel that first spark of your own limitless potential, please do me a great favor and like this video. It tells the algorithm that this message matters and helps us here at Rapidus reach other seekers like you. Share your most important insight in the comments below. And of course, subscribe for more journeys into the power of your own mind. Thank you for watching.